Alright guys, welcome back. New set is out and we are going to talk about what might come in the next selection pack in June, July. I always mix these 2 months up. And obviously we will start with the question, where are we right now? Spoiler alert, I think, personal opinion here, that the June pack, July pack, June pack will be a very good one. This one wasn't that great, but where are we right now? We are on Rage of the Abyss, or basically have finished this set. We will see whether there's something that we have still not yet received. Now you can see right here, we will just quickly scroll through this. Yeah, the Battle Wasp support is still not with us. Other than that, they basically have everything. There's the Atlantean, the Mermaid stuff here. So we are counting the Battle Wasp support. I'm not quite sure whether Six Samurai is in here. I think it is. Here's the Six Samurai stuff, but you can see right here that neither the Battle Wasp support nor the Six Samurai support, there are a lot of cards. So we basically could say that we have finished this set right here. If we scroll down even further, you see cards that we have already in the game. I also think we have Sangon Furo received in the last pack, which is a non-consequential Tenpai Dragon card. Yeah, but other than that, we are basically finished with this set because we have received the Mermaid Atlantean stuff, which was to be expected. The only thing that we are still missing, but we can't really count this because Konami just has a different way of releasing these cards, is our Mimighoul stuff. This is especially the second Mimighoul wave. Already we have not yet received the first one, so in a very apocalyptic next pack we could receive the entire Mimighoul support and then Battle Wasp and Six Samurai, and they can call it a day, which would be obviously very, very sad, but is not what I think will happen here. So we have basically finished Rage of the Abyss and have already received some cards from the next core set, Supreme Darkness. In between those sets though, so Rage of the Abyss and Supreme Darkness, which you can see right here and we'll take a look at in a second, there's another set, the deck building set Crossover Breakers. So there was first Crossover Breakers on the 6th of December last year, and then on the 24th of January there was Supreme Darkness. So Crossover Breakers is technically the next one that we will receive after the completion of the set we just looked at, but we have already received Supreme Darkness cards, which makes it even more likely, in my opinion, that in the next set we will receive at least one of the 3 archetypes premiered in Crossover Breakers. One of them obviously is Raziel, you can see right here, and you can already see by the fact that this is already semi-limited, the Ice Raziel is semi-limited and X Raziel is semi-limited, as well as Raziel Detonator, the XYZ boss monster, being limited, that this was a very impactful archetype. It obviously is, and my opinion or my theory is also, and I've talked about this in another video, that we will not really see any more hits to Snake Eyes or something like Blue Eyes, because they will just basically replace these meta decks with Raziel and the next very important deck, Malice, which is the deck you can see right here. Here's a semi-limitation, here's a semi-limitation, and here's another semi-limitation when it comes to the Malice archetype. So Malice and Raziel being the 2 big ones. In the TCG, Raziel was at the beginning the better one, you could say. Right now, with the second support with Malice, is arguably the better one, and we will have to see in Master Duel. This will be very interesting, since one of the best counter cards against Malice is Artifact Lancia, a hand trap that basically says that no one can banish cards for this turn, because this is a banishment strategy, Malice, and we will have to see how strong this will be in Master Duel, since I can't really see a world in which we are main decking Lancia, because Lancia, Artifact Lancia that is only good against Malice in this specific use case, and in the best of 1 format I don't really see us maining that, but maybe if we see only Malice decks on the ladder, then we might. But this could be an environment in which Malice deck is better from the beginning than is Raziel, and once again I also don't think that we will receive Raziel and Malice in the same pack, but I am pretty sure that in the next pack we will receive either Raziel or Malice. If I would have to bet on something, I would bet on Raziel, and if I would have to answer the question whether we will also receive the second support wave, then I would say we probably will, honestly. But there's another archetype in here also that we can quickly take a look at, which is the Ryugi archetype. So it is also possible, even though I don't hope so, that we will receive a combination of, I don't know, Ryugi maybe, and then the Mimighoul stuff that we have taken a look at together with, I don't know, Battle Wasp and Six Samurai, try to finish off the rest of the remaining cards. Could be the case, hopefully not. I don't really think that this will happen that way. I can definitely see something like they're giving us Ryziel in the next pack, and then maybe in the pack afterwards we will receive Malice and then Ryuge. They will definitely want to split Malice and Ryziel up, because I think otherwise they will lose money on this, since people will heavily invest into Ryziel as well as into Malice, so you definitely don't want to put them in the same pack. So I think that we will receive one of them in combination with Ryugi maybe, and the other one then in another pack, maybe the next pack, Ryziel, Mimigul and the rest of the stuff, and then afterwards we will receive Ryugi together with Malice, but we will have to see. So this is what we basically have to receive next if we want to follow proper order, which obviously we don't really follow proper order. We are on Supreme Darkness after that. But as you can see right here, we have already received some cards from Supreme Darkness, mainly the Evil Hero cards, but there are also other cards that have been released here. Not the most impactful pack. We have the Arcane Force cards, which I think, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong here, Arcane Force is an archetype that is already in the game. We have new Speedroid support, yay. And then you can see we have something like the Elset or Queen Azamina. This we have already, and they already gave us one of the main archetypes introduced in Supreme Darkness, Argo Stars. They gave us the entire stuff from Supreme Darkness, and then there is Materi Actor support, which is an archetype that is already existent but will definitely be better with the new support cards. Then you can see we have some solo cards like Primate Dragon, Ether Barrel and the Poseidra, which we have received within the last packs. And then we have the new Gladiator Beast support, unfortunately not very impactful. One of the most impactful ones is probably the new Kriston support, definitely makes the deck better, and the new Tenny support, which for all the Swordsman enjoyers who still have the deck, yay. Then there are a few solo cards here, and we will most likely in the near future receive the Mulch Army Meowths, which is the third of the Mulch Armies, which basically says whenever your opponent summons from a banishment or graveyard, you can draw a card, which this might be nice against Malice, but this is so specific that you will most likely only use it in a tournament setup, where you can use a side deck, or you can change your deck depending on what you are playing. You can see Evil Hero, Neos Lord, the new Evil Hero cards we have already received. So as you can see right here, we already have received some cards of this pack, something like the Harlow and the Ween we have already received on Halloween last year. So yeah, already some of these cards we have in game. Sant Azamina, Fiendsmith Rex, Tremende, the new Speedroid support as I already talked about, new Kriston support, new Tenny support, the Lightstorm Dragon we have already received. We have the Goblin Bikers Gone Bonkers, Mata Reactor support. This one we actually didn't get, the Abyss Ride, the Atlantean Spirit, very interesting. Eclipse Twins, a very important card for Ryziel. Then we have once again Gladiator Beast, the very good Abao Aku, the Lightless Shadow, which is a good Fiend support card, Link 4. And then you can see some cards that we already have received here. Sympho Spoils we have received. And I think we also have, do we have like the Diabel and Play the Diabel? I think we have the new Agro Stars cards. And yeah, but what you can see right here is that we already have received some of the cards from this set. So this, in my opinion, makes it, and you can let me know in the comments what your opinion on this is, but in my opinion, the fact that we have already received Primate Scream, for example, a lot of is maybe the wrong word, Fiends with Kyrie, some of these new cards from this pack is a very important hint to the fact that now we definitely might get something, or it's very likely, in my opinion, that we get something from Crossover Breakers here, since we have not received anything from Crossover Breakers, and this is definitely the next thing to come, especially because we have Supreme Darkness stuff already. And then the TCG exclusive stuff is Mitsurugi. This will be very interesting. Mitsurugi, an extremely strong TCG exclusive archetype, maybe the strongest to be ever printed, especially with the second support wave. This is a deck on its own that is very strong, super dominant in the TCG right now. Has not yet been released in the OCG, and obviously will be quite a time until we get the Mitsurugi stuff. Unfortunately, you can combine this with Ryziel, Mitsurugi, very strong, but this is not something we will see very soon. You can combine Ryziel with Fiendsmith. Your Malice stuff will not be combinable with Fiendsmith. You can, but it's not that great. Doesn't really work together, in my opinion. Malice will also receive very strong Adignista support in the future, but this is one core set after Supreme Darkness Alliance Insight, which just came out in the TCG, which is something that we will probably not see any cards of for a while. But yeah, I'm definitely calling it. You can let me know in the comments what your opinion on this is. I am calling next set. I was kind of expecting, I called it a very a very brave bet to be betting on Ryziel or Melis for this pack, and I wasn't really expecting this, but once before I just called the fact that it's very, very likely that in the next set, so in June, we will receive either Ryziel or Melis, and I'm calling Ryziel here. Let it be noted, Ryziel note, haha. But we will see. Let me know in the comments what your opinion on this is. Thanks for being here, and we will see each other in the next one.